Hi, I'm going to show you how to make your mini sign. Obviously, this is extra mini. It's just a little piece of wood I had left over. So you got some wood. If you would like, you can take your sandpaper and give it just a really light sand. Pretty easy. Everyone has a stencil. Mine just says Christmas. So this, your parents might want to help you with, because it can be a little tricky. So you want to make sure and rub down on the contact paper, this on top of your stencil. Make sure it's down really well. And then you're going to use your fingers to just pull off the backing, the white backing, and you'll just pull it up. Oh, if you notice, I got a little piece of the stencil came up, so I'm going to just push it down just like this to make sure it really sticks, because we don't want any of the stencil on the white part. So I'll continue pulling it off. Oh, see another piece is coming up. Just push it down, go really slow. All right, so there is my stencil. And I take my wood and just try to line it up as best I can right on to where I want it on my sign. And I'm gonna push it down. So it will look like this. I'll push it all the way down. And then once I feel like it's on there really well, you could even take like a gift card or anything like this to really scratch it down, make sure it's on there. Then I'm gonna take the contact paper, which is this clear sheet. I'm gonna kind of hold the blue part down right there, and I'm just gonna pull it. And again, kind of like we took the white part off, we just wanna make sure nothing comes up. So we're gonna go really, really slowly, leaving the stencil on the wood and pulling this little part. Oh, there we go. We really want that. Little tiny pieces sometimes are hard to get to stick, but I got it. All right, so I can toss this into the garbage now. And let's push this down a little bit. This is what my stencil looks like. Okay, so I got my paint. I chose blue and pink. I'm not sure why I didn't go with red and green, but I love blue and pink. So I've got that, I got my paint. These are little makeup sponges, but they're great for applying the paint. So we're gonna use these. So an optional thing to do, if you want your sign to look like extra perfect, I will use a little bit of the white paint that's in your kit, and you get it on the sponge. You can't see because it's white, but you're really gonna dab it off. So there's not, you don't want a big, huge wet sponge or big clumps. And we're gonna just lightly sponge over the whole sign. Just because I feel like if you put white down first, it makes your colors pop a little bit more. So I'm just putting a little white on the whole thing. And this paint dries so fast. So I'll let it sit for maybe just a minute or two. Okay, I'm gonna show you another tip for the signs. If you realize that you have a lot of blank wood up here above or on the sides of your stencil, and you're worried you don't wanna make a mess, you can take masking tape or probably any kind of tape and just stick it right on here like this. That way, if I get sloppy with my paint up here, I won't paint on the sign. I'll just paint on the tape, which I'll pull off later. So that's always kind of a nice thing to do. So now that this is dried for just a couple minutes, I'm gonna get a sponge, grab some paint, and I'm gonna show you again just how lightly. So I'll start with the blue. You get a little bit of blue or whatever color you're gonna use, and you're gonna dab, dab, dab until it feels like you just really don't even have that much paint on your brush. And you're gonna put just the thinnest coat of paint wherever you want on the sign. And the thinner, the better. I know it's really hard because you just want to globber it on there, but when it's thin, it won't bleed under the cracks, and we can go over a whole bunch of coats, so it'll totally look great. So we get a little bit on our sponge. I think that looks good, and I'll just start sponging right onto my sign. Okay, so let me get another sponge. Where are my sponges? All right, and I'm gonna get a little bit of pink. Same thing, I'm gonna dab, dab, dab till there's just the lightest amount on there. almost like you're putting like, it's like tissue paper thin, and I'll just start going right on there. So you can try to stay perfectly in the lines, or you can get creative and just kind of dab wherever feels good to you. It's your masterpiece. Let's get a little more of the blue. Put some in there. I think this is gonna be super cute. Maybe I should have done it on a bigger piece of wood. All right, so I can go back over. That's what it looks like right now. You can see it's still a little bit light, so I can go over again, put another really thin tissue paper-like coat. Just go over it as much as you want to. Just make sure it's always really, really, really thin. Really light. And then, once we're done with that, we don't want it to be super duper wet, but it doesn't need to be fully dry either. And we will just start ripping it off. So carefully, just pull your stencil. And it's okay if it kind of rips or breaks, not a big deal. Ta-da! So I'm not quite finished yet. You can still see I have a couple little pieces like that piece, and in my A, little pieces of stencil. So I'm going to show you a trick to get those out. So each kit should have had a safety pin. So you can do this if you want help from your parents. That might be good too, because these can be a little pokey. And you'll just go right in there and kind of flick off the little pieces of leftover stencil. Easy cheesy, lemon squeezy. Oh, perfect. So, ta-da, how easy and cute was that little sign I just made. So, you can either be done there, or you can do whatever you want. It's your creation, it's your piece of art. I really like to paint the edges of my signs. I don't know, I think it just makes it look a little more fun. So, it's not perfect, but I like it. See? So then if I want to set my sign, on the counter like that, it looks really cute from the sides. Or if I want to put it on the wall, it's still really cute. If you walk by, you can see the pink sides. Or if you want to be even more creative, you can just get a paintbrush and decorate whatever you want on the front of the sign. Add to it, make it fun. And for the sides, we don't need to go light. We can get our big globbers of paint. All right. Ta-da! Merry Christmas!